Welcome and thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here today. My name is Dr. Annette Piwan Hernandez, and I am the Academic Program Director for the Educational Studies program. A week or so ago, I celebrated my 14th year here at LMU, which is very exciting. In all, I have established a career in education for the past 20 years. And I can honestly say, as a proud alumna from LMU, not once but twice, that LMU and the School of Education truly helped me become the teacher and educator I wanted to be. They truly helped me be the change. I am joined today by my awesome colleague, Ryan Yandell. He's the Senior Admin Coordinator in the Department for Teaching and Learning. I could not do what I do without Ryan, so I am indebted to him. Ryan, would you like to say hello? A few words?
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here and happy to see y'all. As Annette said, I'm the Senior Admin Coordinator at the Department of Teaching and Learning. I handle all the administrative support, or a great chunk of administrative support, and help Dr. H with her duties. So if you ever have any questions or need anything, please feel free to email me or call me. I think my contact information will be at the end of this, and I'm always available.
Thank you. Yes, when it comes time to schedule the interview for admission, you will receive messages from Ryan to get you on my calendar. So it's a team effort and I couldn't do it without him. So thank you, Ryan. Okay, let's get started. Uh-oh, what happened? Can you guys still see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay, good. Trying to move to the next slide. There we go. Okay, so today, in addition to formally welcoming you, I'm going to share a little bit about the School of Education, the values and ideas that inform our work, and how you will be prepared within our program. And at the end of the presentation, I will definitely have plenty of time for any questions that you might have, and I'll share additional contact information at that point as well. Okay, so everything that the School of Education does is in alignment with our conceptual framework known as REAL. In our efforts to develop real educators for real change, we develop educators who respect and value all individuals and the unique perspectives and contributions that they offer, who educate by integrating theory and practice so that we know not just what to do, but why we do what we do. Educators who advocate for access to a rich, culturally relevant, equitable, and socially just educational resources, experiences, and outcomes. And finally, those who lead in order to facilitate transformation. In LMU's School of Education, we prepare real educators who make real changes for their students. Every single program, class, and experience is designed with these principles in mind. And it is our hope that you will infuse them into your professional practice with students, schools, and communities. You might be wondering why some of these rankings matter. There are close to 5,300 colleges and universities in the United States. 1,200 of these have a school or college of education that offers a teacher preparation program and/or programs in educational studies. That is a lot of programming, and it is important to be able to distinguish among those which offer some of the best opportunities for high quality education. The LMU School of Education is just over about 20 years old, and in that short amount of time, we have demonstrated that we have what it takes. In fact, last year, we became the first nationally accredited school of education in the state of California. Why this is not moving. There we go. So how does the Educational Studies program work at LMU? Let's take a closer look. Some highlights of the program. It is a 2-year program for a total of 30 units. It provides maximum flexibility in that students can really design a curriculum that maps to your professional goals and aspirations. We have small class sizes. I believe it's about a 15:18 ratio. Courses are centered on your goals and objectives. You will choose from a selection of classes offered across 3 of our School of Education departments. A maximum of 2 courses can be taken outside the School of Education. So if you have aspirations, say in English, for example, or English studies, you would be able to take up to 2 courses within the College of Liberal Arts, which is where the English department resides. All of these must be done in consultation with your academic advisor, as well as myself as your program director. It's important to note that a teaching credential is not required to join the program, nor will the program lead to a teaching credential. If you're interested in a teaching credential, my next session will be about earning that. If you're interested in that, you're welcome to attend and hear about that program. The program is also designed around full-time working professionals. And what that means is we offer our courses in the evening, Mondays through Thursday. And in the fall and spring terms, that means you'll attend class once a week. In the summer terms, and we offer 2 distinct summer sessions, they're half the length of a traditional semester. So for that reason, they meet twice a week for half of the amount of time. And that occurs during both summer terms. Of the 30 units, there are 5 courses, 3 units each, that are required of all educational studies students to take. The first 4 courses are what we consider the core, and you'll see that they span the different departments. Gives you depth and breadth across the history of education, cultural aspects of education, curriculum, designing a curriculum, what would it take to be an instructional leader. You take a course on assessment and research methodology, which will explore both qualitative and quantitative methods. And then there will be a human development and learning course, which is an advanced educational psychology course that helps you dive deep into how individuals learn. Then you will take 5 additional elective courses, and these are those that you will choose based on your individual goals and aspirations. Within the 5, again, if there's interest in a different department or field outside the School of Education, you could take up to 2 classes in a different department. And then the final course you take is a capstone course, which will be in the last semester of your program, also 3 units. Where you really focus on a problem of practice research project and you design a study around that topic of your choice. I believe our other amazing colleague, Sharon J, is here. Sharon, are you here? I think I saw you pop in.
Yeah, I'm here, Annette. Can you see me?
Oh, I can see you now.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Certainly.
Sharon is another member, most important member of our team. She is an academic affairs associate within our School of Education admissions group. Many of you have maybe already engaged with Sharon. If not, hopefully you will be doing that soon. Also could not do what I do without Sharon on the admission recruitment side of the team. So I'm very grateful for her and all she does. Sharon, would you like to discuss the next part of the application piece for the program?
Absolutely, be happy to. So we admit for the Educational Studies program for all of our semesters. There are 2 in summer, 1 in fall, 1 in spring. The dates listed there are the priority application deadlines. We continue to review applications after November 15th, March 15th, and June 15th on a rolling basis. But the sooner you apply, the more time you have to get enrolled, make any decisions you need to make regarding financial aid, perhaps housing if you're moving. So we do encourage you to apply as close to the application deadline as possible. But rest assured, if it's after that, we will still continue to review your application. It's all online. It's called SLATE. It's the program that you'll find on the grad admissions website. A couple of your names do look familiar, so we might have already been in contact. The application requires a fee of $50, letters of recommendations. There is instructions in there on what we're looking for in a recommender, a previous supervisor, a faculty member to attest to your academic, things along those lines. They will provide them directly. They will upload their letters of recommendations directly. You'll provide a statement of intent, of which there's a prompt provided, 3 to 4 pages long. Your current professional resume, and then you're going to self-verify your technology skills with a form within the application. It's a pretty straightforward, pretty simple process. I work with one other colleague, Mary Fraser, in admissions and recruitment, the two of us. I will be your admissions consultant for educational studies and walk you through the entire application process until I send it down to Ryan Yandell and Dr. when it's completed on my end, and we move on to the next phase, which would be the interview phase. Oh, sorry, another key thing. We do need official transcripts from small detail from all the colleges or universities where you've attended, specifically the one showing your bachelor's degree posted. If for any reason, if any of you are a senior in university right now, you can submit your transcripts without the bachelor degree, and when it's posted, you will then submit a new set. The best way to have them sent by your university is electronically. The address is down there, graduate admission. Please note there's no S on the end there, at lmu.edu. If a hard copy is needed to be sent, you can send them to the address there. This information is also provided in the application. Should you have attended perhaps, say, a community college and you did 1 summer course or 2 classes, we don't really need to see those. If you did a substantial amount of work at your community college, say 2 years and then 2 years at university, then we would need those. So this is the process. You apply online. If you were coming in for the summer session, you would start that now, or for the fall by June 15th. You upload all your materials. I communicate with you through the process. And at that point, when it's complete, I will send it to the Department of Teaching and Learning. You'll get an email from me copying Dr. Hernandez and Ryan as well, and letting you know that it's gone to the next step in the system. After the interview process, there's an admission decision made, and you'd be notified of the decision via SLATE. Everything is handled through your application. The email address you provide as well, you'll get updates on your application and instructions that things have changed, especially when there's an admission decision been made. And at that point, should you be admitted, you will get the name of your academic advisor so you can start the next process of registering for classes.
Thank you, Sharon.
Back to Dr. Hernandez.
Thank you, thank you. So here is some of our contact information. My best way to communicate with me is via email, so I've included that there. At this point in time, you'd probably want to communicate directly with Sharon in School of Education Admissions. So I've included that there. Once your application is forwarded to Ryan and myself, then we'll get Ryan in the loop, and he will assist with any items that might need support, answering questions, etc. at that point in the process. But for now, we'll keep it as simple as possible, and you can communicate with Sharon and or myself should you have any additional questions after we end our discussion today. And one point I forgot to mention earlier, you will have a dedicated advisor who will work with you from beginning to end on for the Ed Studies program and identifying courses you may want to take. If we have to reach out to another college, she will facilitate all of that for you. She's absolutely amazing. And has worked with educational studies students for quite some time now. Her name is Terry Taylor, and I'm confident that she will help you in all of your endeavors. I think that's it in terms of programmatic information. I want to make sure we leave time for questions. So I'm going to go ahead and stop share for now and see if anyone has any questions. I think we're few enough that if you'd like to unmute and ask, we should be okay.
Hi, I'm in my car, so let me know if you can't hear me. But I know you're able to get the reading literacy authorization through this program. I just wanted more details on the process and if it takes extra time and how does that work?
Great question. Sarah, and yes, we can hear you loud and clear, no problem. Thank you I'm sorry you have to be in your car, but I appreciate your dedication to be here. So yes, through the Educational Studies program, you can earn the certificate. The certificate is, I believe, 6 classes. So you would take the 5 required electives through the Ed Studies program. I believe there's 1 additional requirement that you would need to complete, and then you would be able to earn the certificate that way.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. That is definitely an option.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Great question. Anyone else have any questions? I'm curious to hear what drew you to the program, what particular interests you would be looking to study. Would love to learn a little bit more about each of you since we have some time. If you'd like to share.
I would. Oh,
no,
I don't
go
know.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, okay. Okay. What drew me to the program is just the flexibility and me being able to choose, my course of study. I do have my credential, and this is my first year working as I guess, a teacher. I'm a pod teacher, and I work with kindergarten, and I realized wow, teaching kids how to read is actually really, really cool. And I love the fact that in addition to getting the reading authorization, I'm still able to understand how, curriculum works and the development of, the mind and how to work with students at certain ages and what's appropriate, to place on them and what's not. And I just really love that flexibility. And I attended LMU as an undergraduate, and I know the staff and faculty is just amazing and supporting you, as an educator and also as a student. So I know that I would definitely get that support. So that's why I'm back.
Excellent. Well, it's great to have you. Welcome back.
And Sarah, really quickly, I saw you stopped over to the reading info session before you came here. If you would like for me to set up an email meeting with Dr. Morgan Friedman, who is the program director for literacy, we can do that as well.
Okay, I would definitely love that. Like I said, I'm driving right now, but how can I go about that? I can pull over. Do you need my email or?
No, we have your email because you registered. So after the info session's open house tonight, I will work on that either later tonight or tomorrow morning. So no, so
okay, definitely. Thank you. Once again, like I said, the support is.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. They are. Thank you.
Okay, I'll get you that information.
Thank you, Sarah. Linda, go ahead.
Yes, I had a question in regards to, again, I think it was Sarah who had mentioned just the flexibility. And so at what time would classes start if we do enter? Is it at 4 o'clock, a 7 p.m. class? Because I do work as well, and I just want to make sure I'm able to make it to class.
No, absolutely. Great question. So our classes, we have 2 sessions each day. We have classes from 4:30 to 7 and then 7:15 to 9:45. And depending on what you plan to take, it could be that it's a 4:30 class. It could be that it's a 7:15 class. Obviously right now everything is online, but even before COVID, there were certain classes in the program that were also offered online. So you may have the choice to do it face-to-face, or you can opt to take the course online. So we have those options, but those are traditionally the timeframes during the week. In the summer terms, that changes slightly because it meets twice a week. So it's 4 to 7 and then 7:15 to 10:15. But it's about that same window. You're welcome.
And then I did receive a question about scholarships. Is there anything else you could provide as far as information on how that would work?
So there are scholarship opportunities available both through the Graduate Financial Aid Office as well as School of Education specific scholarships. Sharon, I believe you have that link readily available if you don't mind, and dropping it in the chat.
Yes, I can look it up right now. It discusses both scholarship and financial aid opportunities as well as the potential for employment as a student at LMU. So let me pull that up and I'll put it in the chat.
Correct. Thank you. And those you would look through what's available, see what you are eligible for, and application instructions are included within the various links. So you can see what is available to you. As a graduate student, there are a few employment opportunities, as Sharon mentioned. We have the traditional teaching assistant, research assistant, but we also offer graduate assistant opportunities. And that is an elevated position that is available to graduate students only, where you can assist programs, departments, a multitude of areas, and they're across the campus. So you can work in a variety of areas. It pays pretty well. Sharon, is it still 18 or did that go up?
It's still $18 an hour.
It's $18 an hour. You're capped at 20 hours a week. But you do a lot of project-based type work, office assistant, preparation for projects, programs. So it gives you a good experience into potentially like working in higher education if that's something that you would be interested in. But it's an opportunity beyond the traditional offerings for employment at a university. So hopefully that helps answer that question. And Sarah, I just looked up a list of courses, and I think there are actually 5 courses only for the reading certificate. So I pulled something up right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 courses. So you don't have to do anything extra. You can fit the entire reading certificate within the educational studies program. Okay, and the five electives that you would be required to take.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Sarah, you have to have been teaching for 3 years to apply for the authorization, but it can also be done retroactively. So you mentioned you're in your first year. You would probably have completed your 3rd year when you finish the Ed Studies program. So at that point, you could apply for the added authorization.
And the 3 years teaching, does it have to be like with a traditional teaching with a district, or does my role as a pod teacher count?
Your role as a what teacher?
A pod teacher. So I'm in a private setting. I'm not in a contract with any schools. It's more of a private kind of like tutor-like situation. So I don't know if that would necessarily count as the first
I don't
year.
know necessarily that setting would qualify, but we have a credential analyst who could let you know that if it did.
Okay, thank you.
That's a very good point. I think it's 3 years as the teacher of record, but it's possible that if you were to get some sort of documentation from the administrator that would explain the roles and responsibilities you have, it could be that there might be a way to use this experience towards that requirement. But it would be up to our credential analysts in reviewing the rulings of CTC, whether that would be a possibility or not.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, because I do work with their, the teacher on record very closely. And I use it kind of like a master teacher, student teacher kind of situation. So I'm definitely taking this as if I were the teacher on record. So I would love to have that conversation with the credential analyst. So thank you for that clarification.
Yeah. Absolutely. Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you again for being here and joining us. Again, I will put our contact information up for everyone one last time, in case you need to reach us, or Sarah, in your case, if you'd like to connect with our credential analyst, feel free to reach out to either one of us and we can connect you to her. But please feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, concerns, and we'd be happy to get you the answers. I do know that there are some sessions taking place on Friday that will provide information on just more general student resources available through LMU. So I've included those here for you. I'd encourage you to get as much information as you can. LMU really is a special place. As an alum, I can attest to that. As an employee, I can also attest to that. So I appreciate your interest in the program. I look forward to the opportunity of potentially working with each of you. And again, if we can answer any questions, feel free to reach out and let us know how we can help. I hope you all stay safe and healthy and take good care.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.